What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Crew 2, and in this video I'm going to take a look at the creator's YasidDesign X American Petrol. I would probably say this is going to be one of those forgotten Alpha GP cars here on the game, and with this handling update there's probably going to be some better options to choose from. I will get into why that is here in a quick second, but one thing I do have to admit, guys, I really do love the design of this vehicle. I would say a lot of people are probably going to love the way this car looks over like the overall performance that it might have. I really do love the way the engine looks in the front there, plus it kind of looks like a dragster in the back, and it really does look insanely unique compared to the other ones. Plus, I have no idea why those tires are actually on the car as well, but looking at the front of the vehicle, I really don't think they're going to fit on there. But overall, I really do think this is going to be one of the best looking F1 cars in the game, even though this thing is obviously not going to be real, but I really do think it's going to look pretty dang awesome. So one thing I did notice about this car as well, guys, compared to before, is this was not the fastest car out there, at least when it comes to top speed. And I would say after this update, it's probably going to be much better now. So similar to the other Alpha GP cars, this thing is going to do around 298 to 300 miles per hour. I would actually say Ubisoft most likely did this on purpose. That way every single car is most likely going to come down to like their overall acceleration and or the differences with how they might accelerate compared to each other. And then it's definitely going to come down to how each car is going to handle, at least going against each other. I would say a lot of people are probably going to be picking different Alpha GP vehicles, and then some of them are probably going to get thrown down the pit, which I hate to say this. I would say the YasidDesign guys is most likely going to fall into this pit. Now the main reason why I'm going to say this is I did notice, guys, yes, this car can do like 298 miles per hour, but I also notice it's going to have the slowest way of getting there. So even running a nitrochemist set, I notice this car is honestly not going to be the fastest thing out there. It's also going to have one of the lowest like base top speeds in the game as well, being 261 miles per hour, compared to some of the other cars being 271, which honestly might not make that big of a difference. I was noticing when racing this car in some of the events that unfortunately, guys, it's going to have issues accelerating to 298. Even with a nitrochemist set, I was going through most of the nitrous trying to get there. Now the main issue I find with this is the fact that most of the Alpha GP vehicles, you're normally using them for a lot of speed, and or you're most likely going to pick the one that can accelerate insanely quickly and also get to that 290 plus mile per hour mark as fast as possible. I really do think the Yasid's going to have a big flaw when it comes to its speed. I was noticing this tremendously when using this thing in this event, guys. I mean, even trying to keep the YasidDesign at 290 miles per hour, I was finding that to be a challenge as well. I was going through way too much nitrous, especially having a nitrochemist set. I really do think the overall speed of this car is really going to hurt it, and I really don't think a lot of people are going to be running this vehicle all that much. But if you guys did want to use this car with just like racing around or cruising around, I would say it's going to be completely fine for that aspect. But when it comes to summits though, I really don't think a lot of people are going to be picking the YasidDesign because of that one design and or speed flaw with this car compared to the other Alpha GP vehicles. I would even go as far as saying, guys, from the testing I have done with the other ones and then using this one, I would probably say this is by far going to be like the slowest overall Alpha GP car in the Crew 2. I do want to know what you guys think about this car in the comments below. Like, don't get me wrong, this thing looks awesome. It's going to be pretty dang fun to use as well, but the overall speed of this car really is going to hurt it. I honestly could not believe how slow this thing felt compared to like the RB13 and or 14. I would easily choose those over this car, and I really don't want to say this, but I would even go back to the KTM Expo R before I would choose the YasidDesign. I really just don't see a point of using this vehicle with this thing being that slow, but at least if you guys did want to farm out some races and or get some parts for these cars, I would say this thing is going to be insanely fun to use, but I would definitely not jump into like a summit and or some competitive racing with the YasidDesign because that speed is definitely going to hurt this car in the long run. But at least if you guys did want to do like some type of events like farming and or going after money and or followers plus going after some bucks and spare parts, I would say the YasidDesign is going to be pretty dang fun in that aspect. But if you guys did want to run this vehicle competitively, I really do think it's going to suffer just slightly because of that speed. But again guys, let me know your thoughts on this car in the comments below, and here are the settings I'm currently running on this vehicle.